all, I want to say it's not just about your acting in that, you're also the action choreographer of that film. You're very well known for your action directing work. And I want to ask you how you approach the various styles. You're, I think, better known for your boxing style, particularly Ip Man is your signature role at this point, I would say.
Well, first, I was trying to figure out how do you swing such a big sword with a long beard. It always get tangled up with my beard. I don't know, every time I do action directions, I try to stay with the character. And, like I said in the beginning before the show, I told you guys that I didn't know too much of the Three Kingdoms books, right? But I did my research and try to understand the character and, how can I bring this character alongside with trying to bring some freshness to the action choreography. Made up a scene with, the horse scenes, and the alley scenes. We actually built, first I came up with the whole idea of fighting on the horses. Then we built the set, and I want to make it even more complicated, interesting, by having the alley as narrow as possible, or wide enough for two horses to fight in there, but narrow enough where you see the difficulty of having that complication of choreography in that whole fight alley scenes there, right? That's probably one of my favorite. And then at the end, of course, you all know that the director directed Infernal Fair, so they are big fans of modern contemporary action. So we kind of collaborated, and at the end it was more like a General Kwan, kind of like slash a SWAT, I was running around with shooting people with my arrows. That's pretty much.
I thought that scene in the alleyway was absolutely amazing. I have to say, I think it's probably one of
the best. It's quite difficult scene to shoot, actually, because, sometimes you guys probably, maybe, you don't realize how difficult to work with animals. It's very difficult to keep control of the horses, right? You tell them to move, but it doesn't move, so you're kind of stuck in the middle of the alley, and you can go boy, swing the sword, trying to do it fast, and I'm fighting this guy behind me, and my horse doesn't move, and we just kind of got jammed up in the middle of the alley scenes, and then we have to do it again, from the start to the beginning of the alley. So it's quite complicated.
So you've played Kuan Yu, this mythical figure, historical figure of Chinese history, big martial arts figure. You've played Ip Man. Are you interested in exploring more roles like this, other kung fu masters, Wong Fei Hong? Is that the kind of things you want to do? Because right now you're at this juncture, you're an action.
I pretty much did a lot of stuff. I did Monkey King.
That's right.
I just finished another kind of like a SPL / Flashpoint contemporary undercover cop gangster movie. I don't know. I don't really have a particular. I like modern films better, but I know a lot of my audience love my period films, like Hero, Iron Monkey, the really classic films. But in the near future, I probably want to focus more on contemporary, because I feel you have less restriction as far as if you play, for example, if you play a period film, you play someone like General Kwan, there's a lot of burden and limitation because you have to stay true to the historical background as well as audience expectation of playing that character. So it was quite, I don't know, as an actor, I want a little bit more freedom of try different things and exploring different things. I prefer more of a contemporary set background where I'll be focusing on for the next maybe 2-3 years.
Would you consider a film with no action?
I just finished a romantic with no action whatsoever. You know, you can pay, and I don't have to sweat. You know, it's a very fortunate, I've been very blessed and fortunate the past couple of years, you know. I've been given many opportunities, especially after the release of Ip Man series. I've been given opportunities where I was able to explore different type of films, comedies, romantic, you know, but I will never forget my roots. I know this is what I do best. So as an actor, I want to explore more, but at the same time, I would continue to try to elevate what I do best, which is the action movie genre.
Right. I think it's time to turn to the audience. Don't be shy. You can ask your questions, raise your hand, and shout it loud. It's tough to hear you from here. Right in the front, yes.
I did a comedy. I did comedy last year because in Hong Kong, usually during Chinese New Year, we have these comedies because, you know, Chinese New Year, you take your family, you watch something funny, right? So again, you know, I was fortunate to be asked to be in a comedy, actually 2 years ago, and that was my first taste of being in a comedy. And the movie came out, it wasn't that bad, no one breaks at me. So I took another dip last year, playing another role, playing a rock singer actually, and where in the movie we have to sing and play guitar. I've watched a lot of Jack Black's movie, you know, School of Rocks, you know. Do I still dance? No, not as much.
Show us your moves!
I knew that was coming. You can watch them in Smash Couples. You just ask them to play the Smash Couples. Back, maybe next year. Invite me back here.
Yes, maybe you do that. The lady right here.
I don't know much about your background, but the catalog says you grew up in Boston and your mother taught you martial arts. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, I spent a lot of teenage years in Boston. I immigrated from Hong Kong to Boston during starting 1975, like late 70s. Right? My mother does teach martial arts. She recently retired, so I started off studying martial arts from her. They still have a school in Boston.
Thanks. Yes, the gentleman right here.
Is Bruce Lee a role model of yours?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Because I know you did Ip Man, which is, I believe, the teacher of...
Yes, Ip Man was, well, you know, I also did some TV series. Fist of Fury TV series. I did Legend of the Fist, also dedicated to Bruce Lee played a very inspiring role in my life. Inspired many people, I believe. Still is.
Thank you. Yes, right here.
Who's your favorite on-screen fighting partner?
On screen?
Yeah.
Thank God you didn't ask me off screen. On screen, I guess I probably have to say Mr. Jet Li. Because very fortunate, he and I, we did 2 movies together. One is Once Upon a Time in China, Part 2, and the other one's Hero. And both of them, fortunately, it came out to be quite a classic. So, you know, hopefully in the future I can get to work with him again.
Cool. Right in the front.
Will you do another Ip Man film?
That's a big question. You know, actually, me and Wilson Yip, director of Ip Man, we have talks, and you know, we wanted to do part 3, but at the same time, we don't want to spoil it, right? So we're thinking of different angles of if we are going to do part 3, we want to do it. We want to try to not make it as the last one. So he's still in the stage of building. Yeah, maybe next year. Maybe. But if we are going to make it, it's not going to be just Ip Man 3. It's going to be Ip Man 3D.
All the way in the back, and that might be one of the last 2 questions.
What have you heard about the Wong Kar-wai version of his life story?
I look forward to watching his, you know. But I don't know when that movie's going to come out. But I mean, I really, you know, he's a brilliant director. I share a little story with you guys. Actually, I was approached to play Ip Man back in 1997. A director called Jeff Lau, he asked me to play Ip Man, and Stephen Chow played Bruce Lee. And then somehow the project, contract was signed, and the project got canceled, and several years later. And I found out that Wong Kar-wai was planning to do Ip Man. Then right after I made a film called The Empress and the Warriors, I was in Beijing. I got a call from a friend of mine, producer Raymond Wong. We were planning to do Wisely, which is kind of the Chinese version of the James Bond. And then he called me up and he said, you know, let's push this project aside. Let's do Ip Man. And I paused for 5 seconds. I said, number one, you know, I know Wong Kar-wai is doing it. You know, do you have the rights? And he said, yeah, you know, we have the blessing from Ip Man's son. You know, and then it took me another 5 seconds to think to myself, oh, you know, maybe it is destiny, because I was approached playing Ip Man in 1997, 96, 97, and then years later, you know, I was approached again, and then we made Ip Man, and then that was the rest.
Thank you. We have time for one last question. One last question. Yes, you have to. You, okay, the lady. Yeah.
Well, first of all,
Thank you. It's Bullet Films. Actually, it's still here. Yeah, it's still here. We are kind of reinventing Bullet Films, the new Bullet Films. Starting next year, I'm gonna produce my own films. Working with a very big, prestigious, not yet able to announce it at this moment, but I will. So next year you're going to see more of a Donnie Yen's films produced by Bullet Films.
Wonderful. Well, unfortunately, we have to close this session. The schedule is really tight. Join me in thanking